Hi, welcome to Special Diet, Special Recipe. My name is Deborah and I'm with the Gwinnett County Public Library. Today, we'll be talking about the basics of a low sugar diet, prepare a yummy snack that's no sugar, and we'll look for those hidden tricky sugars in nutrition food labels. All content found in this program is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for any information given to you by your doctor or other health provider. Please remember to always follow your doctor's advice when starting a new diet for any nutritional needs. About 2 years ago, my husband was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. His doctor informed him that he had to drastically reduce the amount of sugar intake daily and change his diet. Since then, we started reading nutritional food labels. We cut back on the amount of daily intakes of sugar, and my husband has lost 110 pounds and I've lost 70 pounds. Of course, everyone is different, so our results may vary from your results. So let's talk about sugar in your diet. The low sugar diet involves lowering your intake of added sugars and sweeteners, as well as foods containing natural sugars. A no sugar diet would be very difficult and would also mean not consuming many fruits and vegetables, which contain fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. The primary goal of a low sugar diet is to maintain a healthy level of glucose in your body. Long-term, an excessive intake of sugary beverages, so drinking a lot of sodas, drinking a lot of our sweet tea that we love in the South, leads to an overconsumption of sugar plus your overall caloric intake, and it can act negatively in a domino effect in the body, leading to a number of health complications. A low sugar diet may help manage or prevent diabetes, heart disease and stroke, mood levels and mental health, weight loss, inflammation, and even the health of your skin. A low sugar diet is also easy to customize according to your dietary needs, and recipes are easy to find. There are various guidelines as to how much sugar you should consume each day. If you are diabetic, be certain to follow the guidelines given to you by your doctor. For the purposes of our program, we'll follow those set by the American Heart Association. Men should consume no more than 9 teaspoons, which is 36 grams or 150 calories, of added sugar per day. For women, the number is lower. They should consume 6 teaspoons, or 25 grams, or 100 calories per day. And for children, ages 2 to 18 years of age, they should have less than 6 teaspoons, which is 25 grams or 100 calories per day. It is suggested that children under the age of 2 should have no added sugars in their diet. The average American consumes 23 teaspoons of added sugars a day. For example, a 20-ounce CocaCola has 65 grams of sugar, which equals 15 teaspoons of added sugar. So by consuming this single drink, you have already consumed more than the daily recommended allowance of added sugars to your diet. Let's talk about carbohydrates and how they relate to sugar. When you eat carbs, they are broken down into simple sugars and enter the bloodstream. As your blood sugar levels rise, your pancreas releases a hormone called insulin, which prompts your cells to absorb sugar from the blood. This causes your blood sugar levels to drop. Studies show that a low-carb diet helps prevent blood sugar spikes. So, what foods contain carbohydrates? Foods that contain carbs are grains, like rice, oatmeal, and barley, grain-based foods, like bread, cereal, pasta, and crackers, starchy vegetables, like potatoes, peas, and corn, fruit and juice, milk and yogurt, dried beans, like pinto beans, and soy products, like veggie burgers, sweets and snack foods, like sodas, juice drinks, cake, cookies, candy, and chips. Reading food labels will tell you the amount of carbs in foods, and most tend to be processed. Foods without labels, such as fruits and vegetables, are often better options when eating carbs. Also, when eating grains, be sure to use whole grains instead of those processed. So let's get to the fun stuff, cooking. That's my favorite part. Now, Cooking on a low-sugar diet is a little bit different. But for today's program, we'll make cannellini bean hummus, which is a healthy snack or appetizer. It's also super easy. Hummus is traditionally made with chickpeas, which is also known as garbanzo beans, and is filled with fiber and protein, both which help regulate sugar in your body. Hummus is traditionally served with pita bread or naan bread. But when trying to control your sugar levels, it is delicious with raw, fresh vegetables. To begin, you'll need the following ingredients for this recipe. 1 can of cannellini beans, 15 ounces, drained and rinsed. 2 heaping tablespoons of tahini. 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. The juice of 1 or 2 lemons. 1 clove of garlic, minced, or half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Half a teaspoon of onion powder, which is optional. A couple of twists of Himalayan salt from a grinder. If you don't have that, a quarter teaspoon of salt works just fine. A couple of teaspoons of water as needed to thin. Place all ingredients in a food processor except the water and blend until a desired consistency. Taste for flavor, adding anything more to your liking. Does it need more garlic? How about more lemon or more tahini? You can also add other spices to give it a pop. Try adding a quarter teaspoon of cumin or coriander, or a half a teaspoon of Dijon mustard or chives, or even simply top it off with a sprinkle of za'atar. Once you've added any additional items, be sure to blend it up again. Add 1 tablespoon of water at a time to thin if needed. When using it as a sandwich spread or a binder, it is better to add a few extra tablespoons of water to thin it out nicely. But if you're using it as a dip, thicker is better. Serve however you like. It's great either at room temperature or chilled and makes about 1½ cups. Store in an airtight container in the refrigerator for up to 6 to 7 days. So let's look at the nutritional value for our hummus. Notice the hummus has no cholesterol and is low in sodium and sugars. Now your sodium may vary depending on how much salt you add to the hummus. It's also important to remember the nutrition facts pertain to this suggested serving size, and not if you accidentally eat the whole thing because it is just too good. Now that we're talking about nutritional food labels, how many of you actually read the food labels on your products? Until last year, I was very guilty of never reading food labels. Once we decided to start cutting back on our sugars, looking at the labels was the first thing that we started to do, and now I never put anything in my shopping cart until I've read the food label to see how much sugar is in my food. Overall, the best way to keep your sugar intake at a lower level is to prepare and cook items from scratch. Unfortunately, we all live a very busy life, and cooking from scratch is not always possible. So, when you need to use prepared items, such as things that come in a box, things that come in a can, things that are semi-prepared in the fresh food section, or even frozen meals, be sure that you're reading those labels, and this will help you control your sugars and carbohydrates. In 2016, the Food and Drug Administration revised the nutrition facts label to list both total sugars and added sugars. But some companies have until mid-2021 to make the switch to include the added sugars on their labels. Furthermore, some products include terms that are related to sugar. Nutrition labels and sugar. Total sugars include both added sugars and natural sugars. Added sugars are the ones you want to limit. Natural occurring sugars are found in milk and fruit. Those are called lactose and fructose. Any product that contains milk, such as yogurt, milk, or cream, or fruit, fresh or dried, contains some natural sugars. Here are some common terms and their meanings. Sugar-free means less than 0.5 grams of sugar per serving. Reduced sugar, or less sugar, is at least 25% less sugars per serving compared to a standard serving size of the traditional variety. No added sugars, or without added sugars, means no sugars or sugar-containing ingredients such as juice or dry fruit is added during process. Low sugar is not defined, or is it allowed as a claim on food labels. Keep in mind that if the product has no fruit or milk products in the ingredients, all of the sugars in the food are from added sugars. If the product contains fruit or milk products, the total sugar per serving listed on the label will include added and naturally occurring sugars. Here is where food labels get tricky. There are over 60 names for natural and artificial sugars and sweeteners. Remember, not all sugars are bad for you, so always look at labels. And as always, check with your doctor regarding your diet. Last but not least, if you are looking for an overall plan to control your limit or your sugar intake, try the Mediterranean or the DASH diets. Both of these diet plans are highly recommended by a number of doctors and are especially great for diabetes and heart health. Gwinnett County Public Library has many books and cookbooks related to low-sugar diets, including the Mediterranean and DASH diets. Be sure to look at our catalog to hold some of these books today. We also have some in our ebook collection in Libby and Overdrive. Here are also a number of helpful links about a low-sugar diet. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.